Hey, welcome back to Black Light Garage. Well, while it's raining outside, it's given me an opportunity to try out this microphone that I now see is highlighting my eye green. Does it make me look beautiful? Anyway, I want to try it out. Hopefully, y'all can hear me better now. And I want to show you what I'm using for the fuel system on this Mustang. Got some new old stock surprises, some really rough surprises, and we're going to take a look at those Chinese 351 Windsor intakes. All I can say is WTF. You ready? Come on, let's get into it. Well, of course, the first thing is you got to get the fuel out of the tank. Of course, it was originally a fuel injected car, but I got this piece here from UPR. I actually bought this one used off eBay a good while back. And you just take your electric, your factory stock fuel pump out, drop this straight down in the tank, and lock it back with the lock ring, just like you was putting the fuel pump assembly back in it. It's got a 10 AN feed and a 6 AN return, but we're not going to need the return, so I'll just cap it off. Now, of course, you need a good fuel filtering system because we're doing away with the EFI stuff. And to handle that, these were actually, I got these about 2 years ago on clearance from Holley. Um, this is actually a good fuel filter setup. It's got the filter inside that's replaceable, and that should cover pretty much any filter need that I'll ever need. It wasn't bad for, I think I give $30 for it. And the reason that I'm using that insert in the fuel tank is, well, I mean, you can use them with an electric fuel pump, but I've always told you I don't really want to hear that all the time. Um, that and people say it's better when you're using an electric fuel pump to sump the tank rather than have it try to pull it up out of the tank and down. People do it, but they say it's better if you sump the tank. Well, I'm not going to sump the tank. So, and I don't want to hear that noise, so I'm not going to use an electric fuel pump. Now, in that other video, I showed you that Jegs fuel pump that I've got, mechanical fuel pump. But I found something. Check this out. Plain old generic fuel pump box, right? You remember those really nice Edelbrock fuel pumps they used to make or used to sell? Look like that. That's because Edelbrock did not make those fuel pumps. They just put their name on them. Hey, like that. New old stock. Not one, but two. Now, these are a very high performance pump. It'll put out about 10 psi. So in that case, you got to have a fuel pump regulator. But the good thing about these pumps is, look, they're rebuildable. Look at the inlet and outlets on these things. But these are a 6-piston pump, and I trust this a whole lot more than the new electric pumps because let's face it, every day somebody's talking about their electric pumps have took a dump on them. So I've got this, and I got a backup. But we need a fuel pressure regulator. And yet again, Holley's clearance about 2 years ago come through with this Maori carbureted fuel pressure regulator. Of course, the bracket and stuff for it's in the box. This wasn't much either. So, as you can see, I've been planning this build for a while. Been slowly, as I find stuff on clearance, close out and stuff like that, I'd grab it and set it back. But that should take care of my fuel pressure needs. And as usual, if any of you all see anything wrong with the parts I plan on using, or comment, let me know. Now, if you remember, in that other video where I showed you what I was going to use to build the Windsor, I was going to use this 650 double pump. Well, that was when I was planning on leaving it 351 cubic inches, and fairly stockish. Well, now that it's going to be 393 cubic inches, we need a wee bit bigger carburetor. I don't have a 750. Let me show you what I do have, and you're going to laugh. I have this one, which is an 850. A very, very, very rough 850. I am not joking when I say I found it in the bottom of a tote full of water that had been sitting there for, well, several years. I think I can bring it back to life. We're going to try. You see me do that to that 2-barrel Holley. I boiled it in pine sol. Well, I'm going to try it with this one too. May work, it may not. I would rather have a 750, but I don't have a 750. I've got a 650, and I've got an 850. So 850 it is if we can get it going. I mean, the 650 would work just to drive around town. It'd be fine for that. If you really lay into it, you'd want something a little bigger than a 650 on that engine. And as you can see, it's quite frozen, which, I mean, it's bent too, but it's quite frozen, unhooked. Yeah. But you can buy the base plate new, so that's not, it's not too awfully bad of a deal breaker. I think the rest of it will be okay. You just have to put a new base plate on it. Okay, y'all can quit saying I'm insane and laughing now. It might work. Maybe. Possibly. Doubtful. But maybe. But now, let's get into these Chinese intakes for a 351 Windsor. They're a copy of the wine stealth intake, or as old people around here call them, it's not wine, it's Wieland. They like those Wieland intakes. They rank right up there with them Ellenbrock aluminum intakes. I don't know if you ever heard old people say it or not, but they were Wielands and Ellenbrock aluminums. All right, let me go over and get one of them and show you. Now, at first glance, one thing stood out to me. I mean, it looks okay from the top, but look, it's had a DA sander hooked to the gasket surfaces. Okay, that was one red flag. Now let's look at the port alignment. Now this is a Felpro 1262 performance intake gasket, and you can see, don't look bad, don't look bad. I'll move my hand here, I'm just holding the gasket. Don't look bad, don't look bad. Gives us a little room to open it up. So, I mean, hey, this will work. This is on the right side of the intake. If you're sitting in the car. So it'd be passenger side. Now let's flip it over. Oh, and yes, same DA finish. Now, before I lay the gasket up there, I just wanted you to see this, because you see the same DA finish. This is the left side of the intake, driver's side. And, yep. Okay. Yep. This is one of those, remember on Sesame Street, they used to have that little song one of these things is not like the other. But then we lay the gasket up here. Just like we did on the other side. And no. Of course, we knew that one was going to be ugly. Definitely no. And no. And you can see, I mean, it's lined up with the bolt holes perfectly. I mean, yeah, you can trim the gasket, but I mean, that port there is funky anyway. But no. And no. So I contacted them and they sent me another one, which is this one back here. So let me swap them out. Now you can see the gasket surfaces, looks better. Don't look like it's had a DA sander to it. I mean, there is a little, you can see the whatever they used to machine that, but it don't look like somebody just took a DA sander to it. So, okay, this is looking better already. Now let's flip it on its side. The finish on this side's a lot better. Although that one right there, that's a little funky, but I could probably straighten that up with a die grinder. I didn't expect these to be perfect. So, okay, so you got the gasket lined up. And, yep, I can straighten that out. Looks good. That one's actually not overhanging. It's dead even with the wall. And same thing there. So, we're good. Now, like I said, better finish on this side than the other one. They've not sanded it with a DA. They've not done body work on it. So, yep. Uh-oh. Yep. Mm-hmm. We're back to playing one of these things is not like the others again. And then lay the gasket up here. No. That one's doomed. Definitely no. Uh-uh. Even though this one looks better than the first one they sent me, it's a worse intake than that first one. Even though they didn't sand it, the casting is worse than that other one. I'm just in shock. I have used one Chinese intake in my life. It was on 302, and it's been probably 15 years ago. No, probably about 20 years ago. And I mean, the ports were a little rough. I smoothed them up, but the casting was fine. It fit fine. Everything lined up. I just need to smooth the ports up because they just were rough casting. These ain't even in the ballpark. I mean, this is just insane. So, I mean, really all I can do is, which I mean, I can get my money back. That's not a problem. But I mean, I'm just going to have to buy an actual wine stealth because I'm wanting to use the stealth for hood clearance reasons. And they do work good. They might give a few horsepower to the Perform RPM or the RPM air gap, but it's not going to be much. And I'll get more hood clearance with the stealth than I would with the Perform RPM or air gap. I think the stealth is like half an inch shorter. But I mean, this is just disappointing. I mean, I'm just in shock. They're this bad. So, did I learn my lesson? Yep, sure did. Don't buy Chinese intakes. Not for a 350. Not for a 351 Windsor anyway. So now you see what I'm using for the fuel system. Well, you see what I'm using outside the intake. Um, so we'll see if we can save his carburetor. But let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm going with mechanical fuel pump. I might regret it somewhere down the road, but hey, we won't know till we try. So take a minute, hit the thumbs up. Like now, that's what I'm pausing for. You're supposed to hit it now, and like and subscribe. It helps me out. Give me your thoughts on it. Have any of you run into the mess of these intakes? And as always, stay tuned. Me and the pups will be back with another one. And listen to more Goose Creek. See you. Hey, we gotta buy an intake, right? So you're gonna have to like do without treats and stuff for a while. Is that okay with you? You care? I hope y'all know. No, that would never happen. I'd sell my car so I'd make these two, which I don't know where she's at. I'd sell everything before these two would ever go without. I'll aggravate them about it, but they'll never do without.